So what's a vision? What's a vision? What's a soul's calling? We need to get some of these perfunctory details out of the way because I use some words in the description, in the title, soul's calling, vision, mission, and we throw these words around so arbitrarily these days. So I wanted to take a moment to drop in and start to crystallize them a bit. What do I mean by it? What do we mean by it today? How are we going to use it? So if you're new to any of this, new to me, there is a technology for this. You have 4 systems, 4 things that make you, you, and there's a stream of energy that comes down through our soul, or our energy. If you don't like the word soul, they're synonymous. It's our program. It's the blueprint. It is a channel that literally irrigates into our physical brain. So what a lot of this working with the third eye, the crown, the soul star, this stream of energy that literally like beams into all of us. A lot of the ancient mystics, spiritual scientists, Vedics, then the modern people, Tesla, as I started with. You're going to hear Tesla's quote throughout today, as well as a couple other quotes that'll come in handy to help reinforce this understanding that when I say soul's calling, I mean your soul, your blueprint, your program, your higher self wants to, your super consciousness is communicating to you, is transmitting through you, and it is your true essence. It's literally this multidimensional part of you that is meant to birth through what you're here to do this lifetime. So your soul's calling can be synonymous with that stream of energy. It's that voice, literally like a calling. It usually is felt, it is intuitive, it's instinctual, it's more through the heart and through the power center. It's more down here. Sometimes, yes, it does come through the intellect and through the third eye. Mostly it's you know what? And as I started to unpack this work, I was sitting in a room in 2020. I've always been a mystic in a suit. I was in conscious capitalism. I was on the forefront of the do-gooder business movement, whether it was integrative woo-woo law or conscious capitalism. And I'm in this movement, 2020. I'm starting to get back out there a little bit before universe was like, teach on the app, Insight Timer, yeah? And I'm literally in a room in front of all these C-suite executives, a lot of do-gooders. Some of them have gone on to start and write books, start movements, technologies, curriculums, all beautiful souls. We obviously gathered for a reason, much like whoever's going to congregate here today. And I was asked, right? So like networking, we all do it. And in that day, we're getting used to Zoom and all this that's now, part of our day to day. And in this virtual setting, they asked me, what do you do? Literally blurted out, I'm a mystic in a suit. If you had asked me, I've always been the mystic in a suit. I've always been helping entrepreneurs, founders, teams, nonprofits, organizations that want to change the world. I was always working with them on a soul level, only I was masked and shrouded. So this soul's calling, what you're going to find is as you go on this journey, whether you work with me one-on-one, whether you come back to these lives, whether you watch the curriculum that'll be launched soon or the resources on Insight Timer or YouTube, and whether you continue this work, these seeds that we're going to plant and water that'll start sprouting today, wherever you go with this, you'll look back and you'll go, I've always had this soul's calling, this knowing. I always had these breadcrumbs, this sense of, it becomes a surprise. You unpack it in a greater way. And when you get to the tail end like I am, you go, oh my God, now all this crazy stuff that was coming through that I was journaling on, writing all ways, I'm going to explain to you, break it down, paint by numbers, explain to you how do you do these mechanics. Right? Only warming you up the first few minutes to kind of get us going. So soul's calling, we have to attune, much like Nikola Tesla. Yeah, my brain is only the receiver. In the universe, there is a core, said Tesla, from which we all can obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. So we can tap into that soul stream, we can attune and align with it, and we can bring those energies through because what is meant for you is only meant for you. What you're supposed to actualize this lifetime. And then some people say, well, how I'm supposed to bring my soul's calling through, what that looks like is my vision, right? I have a vision for a new world. I have a vision for what ascension on this planet's going to look like. I have a vision for all these spiritual sciences and how they'll help leaders bring more soul, bring back more of themselves in a very visceral way, and then bring that forth and make good with that and actually build the empires they're meant to build so they can do good in the world, yeah? So soul's calling, mission is how you actualize that, how you bring that forth in actuality, in this reality construct, in this lifetime, how you bring that soul potential forward, how you actualize it. And then vision is the final way it looks. What does it look like? How will it manifest? Whether it's a curriculum, as I said, a book, a technology, a process. And you're going to hear this from me. You're going to hear it if you watch the show this coming season, which is very relevant. If you're a founder, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're starting a spiritual business, if you're in the nonprofit, if you want to start a movement, this season is very much around this topic of today's theme of downloading and birthing through. You're going to see this concept, and I'm going to say it. If you take one thing away from this today, remember that whatever you birth through, whatever you create, it is an energetic extension of you, literally like the baby. Because if you're not clear, whatever you birth through will not be clear. If you're blocked, it will be blocked. It will not birth through. If you're pure, you're aligned, you've done the inner work, and then you see that then the inner work for some of us leads us to step into service and leadership, then you will have no problems. So oftentimes what I'll see is it's not birthing through, it's blocked, it's not taking off. Much like me 10 years ago, you're forcing it, it's not finished gestating, maybe you're not letting something iron out, and something we're gonna only touch upon briefly, some of the healing that you have to do as a founder, as a healer. The inner work translates because of this principle that the creation is an extension of the creator. So if you're out of alignment, this thing's gonna be out of alignment. It's a very important thing to make a mental note of. Very important, very important, very important. And somebody asked me earlier, it's in the chat, somebody said, is this like channeling? Is this like mediumship? It's the cousin. This is, again, the process of tuning in, dialing in, beep, 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 turning on very real inner human technologies, what you source to and why, and then how you use what comes through. That's the difference between what we're going to talk about today and a topic we may talk about in a few weeks that I've taught before, the art and science of activating your spiritual gifts, extrasensory gifts, channeling, mediumship, being, intuitive. Those are parallel. It's how you use it and what you birth through. So yeah, in a way, any inventor, any new earth leader is channeling, is birthing through, because that's what channeling is. Channel, bringing through the soul stream. Boop, 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 boop. My brain is only the receiver, says Tesla again, right? Emphasizing that. The universe is bringing that energy through the soul stream. Questions, comments, put them in the chat. And then we're going to start with a preparatory, very important process that's going to actually help prime the mind and the third eye, which will be useful for the second exercise we're going to do when we actually start downloading, bringing through what we'll learn about in this technical process after this warm-up, which is the technical process of downloading. It's a very real thing. Talked about it in a video on YouTube 3 years ago, and teaching it to people, realizing that it's universal more and more. Scientists talk about it in different ways. You hear about it through the arts, creativity. I got to be in flow, man. It's flowing through me. I'm showing you how to actually bring your soul in, plant these seeds, nurture these seeds. In a few minutes after we do this warm-up, you're going to understand what these seeds that I call codex that are out there. Again, scientists are studying it through cursory, parallel, corresponding topics, because even those scientists, some of them are spiritual. There's so many. The founder of Heart Math Institute, which is a pioneer, has really legitimized, normalized in the business realm. A lot of thought leaders have come out of that movement to create technologies, movements, curriculums, written books. Most of them are spiritual and they're in the closet, right? So the more of us we bring forth, the more we embrace the gifts, the more we can download and birth through, the more easy it becomes, the less birthing pains we actually experience, the less awkward and discomfort we actually experience, yeah? Oh yeah. Let's prepare this first phase, this notion of actually preparing to dial in and download. You have to actually prime. Prime is a word that means prepare, get ready, activate, turn on, different things and elements to priming. So as I light my candle to set the stage, open the space, get all intentional and bring in some really good consecrating energies more than we already have, what we're going to do right now is we're going to prepare you. We're going to prepare you to actually dial in and download. And we're going to get into this warm-up primer of the mind and third eye centers together in a very real way. And if you've never done anything like this, don't worry. You're going to follow my instructions, and it's going to be akin to like a guided meditation or a very active visualization. They're energetic meditations. Everything I do is very much leading edge. It has a very integrative, interdisciplinary approach. So you may want to buckle up if you've never experienced me before. It's all safe. It's all tested and true. I've been the guinea pig, worked on many people. Thousands of you have already started learning from me. Hundreds have already hired me for work. And I'm telling you, this stuff is not that scary. It's not that complex. Yes, it's mystical. So let's prepare to dial in, shall we? Let's do this energy warm up, this primer of the mind center together. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get situated. And much like any inner work, a lot of the topic today happens within us in the inner landscape. And the more we get comfortable there, the more we get comfortable closing our eyes, churning our focus inwards, bringing our hands to our torso, breathing through the nose, using the diaphragm. If you're not already, inhale through the nostrils, fill the belly and the diaphragm. Exhale, contract out the mouth a couple times, and then inhale and exhale all through the nostrils using your diaphragm. Allowing yourself to open to the here and now. Open to the here and now. Allowing yourself more and more to drop in and center with the breath. Opening, centering, and arriving with every inhale and exhale. Calling all parts of you back to you now. More and more with every inhale and exhale. In and out through the nostrils, using the diaphragm. Allowing the energy of the past, any concerns for the future. With every inhale and exhale, opening to whatever's arising, whatever's happening in your inner landscape, centering more and more in the torso, anchoring and arriving more and more with the breath and to the breath, dropping more and more into the inner you, bringing more of your soul, more of your awareness, more of you into your body, embodied with every breath in and out. Do your best as we really drop in and start this warm up together. Inhale, drop out of the mind, more and more in the body with your hands on your torso, maybe rub the chest. This is me. It's safe to be here. I don't have to keep thinking, planning, worrying. A lot of what we're going to cover today, it happens automatically. As I said, most of this is showing leaders how to get out of the way and how to really align with it. Let that flow really amplify. So for now, allow yourself to be here. There's nowhere to be, nothing to do, no magic. We'll keep following these steps as we open, center, and arrive. More and more to the here and now. As you inhale, sense more and more of your breath in your body. And in a moment, I want you to take all of your awareness, all your focus, even with your hands on your chest, to the center of your head. Center of your head, feeling your breath, your hands on your torso, and now your awareness, inner attention and focus, all of it gathering in the center of your head, letting your breath be in your chest. And as you arrive more and more in the center of your head, the middle of your head, allow yourself to breathe, not only through your chest, as if you're also allowing your breath to enter this mind center. Very powerful gate in the center of the mind. As you arrive here, as you inhale, feel this center expanding, maybe like it's a little ball of energy. As you inhale, connect to it, connect to this mind center. As you inhale, feel it expanding. As you exhale, feel it contracting. Connecting your breath to the pulsing of this mind center. With every inhale and exhale, I breathe in and out through my mind center. You don't have to understand what this means. There's no right or wrong. Continue to do your best. Feeling your hands on your chest and all of your awareness and focus and the breath also going in and out through the mind center in the center of your head. I open my mind with every breath. And as you say that, literally allow that to happen. For some of you, you can maybe feel the top of your head like a moon roof opening. Maybe it's like a flower blossoming or a valve opening. Or maybe that energy center is glowing and growing more and more. As you breathe into this mind center, bring your willful intention to allow it to open, and then visualize it opening. I open my mind center with every inhale and exhale. Maybe it's like the sunroof of a car opening. Maybe it's like a valve at the center of your head opening, or a flower blossoming. Whatever helps support this very real inner energetic process. It's a very real mechanism here to opening this energy center. Feeling a more expansive state with every inhale and exhale. I open my mind with every breath. As you do that, bring your concentration to where everybody says your third eye is, literally a little bit above your actual physical eyes, closer to the front part of your forehead. It's not as much in the middle, which is where we were a moment ago. Bring your focus, sensing the middle of the head, this mind center, and then now, almost like it's in the front part of this mind center. This third eye, very real gate tied to the pineal gland, which is the physical organ associated with this inner perception, this inner sight. So as we do this, connect to the third eye intentionally and saying out loud, I'll also connect with my third eye with every breath, allowing my third eye to activate. We'll have to understand what that means. Technically, it means turning it on or turning something dormant on, activating the potential. In this case, it's like turning a light switch on. This inner sight, there's actual center here. Breathing in the center of the head, and then now concentrating a bit, focusing on the third eye. Maybe you can actually visualize like a third eye opening, which is why they call it like an inner eye. Some of you have never done this before. It may seem abstract. Continue to follow my instructions. Some of you may have done this before, maybe experiencing deeper experience of this, more multidimensional maybe. Wherever you're at, continue to breathe in and out. Breathing in and out of it. Also feeling the center, the mind center, in and out. Take another breath or two here. And then on the last exhale, I want you to drop down and feel all that energy now draining back down to where your hands are on your heart, saying my mind drops back into my body. Feeling the expansiveness, the openness of your mind center. Whatever happened has happened. The third eye, whatever's happened has happened. And then now, returning more of your focus, awareness, and intention into your body. Dropping into the torso. Another breath or two here. And opening your eyes, coming back to the room. Opening your eyes, coming back to the room. Taking a moment to acclimate. How do you feel after that experience? What did you notice after that warm-up practice of priming the mind center, the inner sight, the proverbial energy centers that are very operative, very key to the work we're going to cover today? So now that you've experienced a bit of what we're going to learn about today, we're going to turn our focus, take a moment to debrief, and then turn our focus and start understanding the actual technical process in terms of energetics of downloading and birthing through. What does this process actually entail? To their calling, and they haven't really understood that this energetic extension, whatever you bring through, and the third practice we're going to do today, you're going to literally Even if you're at the early stages, still get a sense of what the future timeline has in store for you, and maybe it'll be fuzzy, a sense of when we do that visualization and that energetic practice in a more advanced way, you may viscerally see it, right, and sense it. About 2019, it started to become clear to me, oh, there's some very powerful energetic sciences that I'm bringing through. I didn't understand the who, what, where, when, and like how, and it was very abstract, some of it, and I'm going to explain, how do you organize, how do you bring it through? Some very let's say spiritual, some very practical, bringing it together. Yeah, so very technical process. I see it's very universal, it's very uniform. We're gonna break it down in a moment. Yeah, moonroof is a good example, Dolly. Happy it resonates, right? Because we can all use these references, and if you use them as a visualization, as an operative. Oftentimes I get people that say to me, I've done this work, you bring it to a whole nother level, because I'm weaving together in an interdisciplinary and integrative way very advanced spiritual practices with very leading edge, cutting edge science and all sorts of stuff brought together that I experimented on myself, didn't know I was supposed to teach it. Then once I started to birth it, download it, before I knew I was going to birth it through, then I was working on other people, then I was told to be a teacher, and now I know it's a curriculum, it's a process for doing the inner work to bring more light into your body, more higher vibrational frequency into your body in a very visceral, real way. Yeah. So literally today, I'm going to use myself, and we'll walk through these processes, and these examples will come from me, and then I'll give you the techniques and tips, and we can, do some debriefing together, as is always the case. So, it works if you actually start to, like I'm saying today, bring your awareness to it and go, oh, this is, and that's the thing. We've lost touch with this. It's either been obfuscated, occulted, in secret societies. You got to be a monk, or it's not, we've lost sight of. And this is the era where we need this stuff. This is not the era to be divided within and torn. So I'm glad that some of these analogies resonate, because they will help you get more visceral and do the work at a more multidimensional and embodied way, which is where it really starts to take off even more than it already has for you. Good. So let's get into that. Yeah, Ruby, some of you may feel literally buzzing here. Some people, when I do this for the first time, even if they're advanced, I've had people that are very advanced teachers themselves, they literally will have like this happen. We're on a Zoom and I'm working with them, and this, like they literally are their head gets blown back, right? So Ruby says in the chat, it's the first time I feel that the third eye is actually, there's something happening here. So I feel more lucid. I literally feel like, whoa, this is now what we're going to unpack in the second exercise, when we actually start the steps of downloading what the Taoist masters, the traditional Chinese medicine, is an extension of their energy sciences and their biophysical teachings. And literally, they used to say blue sky mind. Blue sky mind is this expansiveness. Tesla, a few centuries later, is likening it to being an antenna, right? So that's why the moonroof, now we have engineering speak, consciousness terms that I can use, like codex, like program. It's like we have an operating system here, folks, and learning how to use it, how to up-level it, and how to actually master it. It's very useful in this day and age. It's a muscle. You're going to have to develop it. In fact, here, there's a quote. I'm going to read it later. I'll read it now. Yeah? There's a couple quotes I have for you today. I already gave you the Nikola Tesla one. Here, let me read this one for you all. Robbie Gass says, like any ability or muscle, hearing your inner wisdom is strengthened by doing it. So we go to the gym, folks, and seldom do we actually go to the inner gym. Or we do inner work and we are like kind of, oh, I'm meditating. Or this is very laser focused surgical inner work done with an intention. So there is a technical process. Let's get into it, folks. What is this process? There is a technical process for downloading. It's a big skill. It's a new tool. I'm going to give you this tool. I'm going to empower you to use it. And then let's start practicing it, yeah? All right, so let's kind of break this down. So I've actually used this chart for a while now, and these arrows have been here for 5 years. I'm about to digitize them on the site. They'll be in more fancy digitized format, so you don't have to be annoyed by my sloppy studied to be a doctor handwriting a long time ago. So over here you have a UL, upload. A lot of what I've been teaching you all has been uploading, ascending, raising your frequency, going higher. You've seen this arrow for a while. It says DL, download. How do I bring all of these energies, these programs, these higher callings, this stuff? Well, let's start with, what is that stuff called? Everything is energy, and energy carries information. I call that information codex. It's a very sciencey term. What is codex? Much like a operating system of a computer, the mainframe of your mind, the software of your mind and heart, they interpret energy with impulses. Generally speaking, what happens, the first step is a seed of codex comes through. You go, aha, and you see Newton. Isaac Newton's a very classic metaphor. Apple falls, epiphany. So a literal thing fell on his head. Now in this instance, it may not be literal. It could be like me on top of a mountain. The seed of codex that came through is an insight, an epiphany, an aha, and it's a kernel. At the beginning stage, you're kind of like, what? I kind of know what, right? That's the inception point. The seed of the codex comes in. I was on a mountain, vulnerable power, in late 2018, 2019. I didn't know I was going to be a show. I didn't even know what vulnerable power meant. And then I was like, oh, and you unpack it, what we're going to get into. So first step is a seed comes in, and that's a packet of information. It may be words. It may be like Nikola Tesla used to see images. He's very famous for, he would see images of his inventions and then tinker before he ever made a physical model. He would tinker in his head. So seed of codex comes through. The insight, the epiphany, the aha, the packet of info, of energy comes through. You download it. That's the process we're going to get into the second exercise. For now, you got the download. Then you go, I got a packet of information. Now what do I do with this? So then our human consciousness, step 2, our human consciousness has to start unpacking. That's integration. That's another concept for integration. Sometimes we hear integration with doing breath work or plant medicine, that you need to integrate the work. Well, in this case, you need to actually take this energy and you need to actually let it absorb into the mind, into the heart, and yes, even into the very visceral cellular DNA level of the biophysical. So the packet comes in, step 1, the seed of codex comes in, step 2, you have to begin allowing your consciousness stream to unpack it. Well, why? Well, if you do nothing to it, you can't go any further. You get literally a backup of a queue. It's like opening a million tabs on your phone or your desktop, and then eventually your computer slows down. You'll get literally like energetic constipation. Why? Because the universe won't give you any more. I've seen this for myself. I've seen it for others. They'll literally be blocked and stagnate and more be like, and then worse and worse things happen. So at that point, you have to start unpacking it. Then step 3, then more starts to flow through. You get different elements. That codex starts to, like a folder, starts to become subfolders. Different layers of a cake, almost, is another analogy that I've heard clients and people on the show talk about, is that I had more elements come through, the processing of it. That's another word. I need to process this. I need to sit with this. So I got the seed. I have to start uptaking it. And then once I start processing it, we get into this third stage of unpacking, processing, translating, various things happening at this stage. It's a very active stage. That's where most people want to get to. They want to get to here, and then they think all of it is doing something with this information. Well, not quite. So once you get to this third stage of it starts to flow through, you got more elements, you start to unpack and gestate it, you really start to then get into the last stage, this fourth stage of birthing it through. That's the more physical manifestation. Hence why, like a baby, the mom actually holds it. Well, up until the 9 months where it comes out of her, which you're going to experience in the third practice in a very real and advanced way, whether you know what your baby is going to look like or not, by the time it comes out, then she can see it. Well, that's the fourth stage. You're starting to birth it through. You're starting to crystallize it. You've already translated, unpacked, gestated. It's already started to take form, and you start to connect the dots and start to crystallize and start to bring it through. You start acting on it. So once you've integrated it, you've brought it, bringing it through more and more, you take steps, action, implementation, then it starts to then boom, boom, boom. Seed of codex, you start to download the actual inception point. You bring it through, start to integrate and unpack it. Then you get into the gestation period. More comes through like a cake. It starts building, gestating, and then you get to the fourth stage, the actual crystallization, the birthing through, the manifestation word, the word manifestation. You start to manifest it, bring it through. Yeah? Seems simple enough. There's a lot of intricacy to a 1, 2, 3, 4. The actual dial in, download, start unpacking, translating, integrating, gestating, getting more and more, and then birthing it through, manifesting, bringing it into concrete form. Yeah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, not quite. To actually birth it through into reality. Yeah, because this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Some of this, most of this you can do on your own. Some of it you need a guide. You need somebody from the outside. One of the main things I do is from the outside, because as they say, you can't read the ingredients from inside the bottle. You kind of are going through these birthing pains. Sometimes you don't see all the dots. You can't integrate all the pieces. If it's a technology, if it's a curriculum, if it's a book. So getting some help along the way, and that's what today's session is about, is to pepper it in so you can get a flavor of what I do and get the benefit of understanding this and equipping yourself, since we're unpacking so much of this in a very real way. So it helps when somebody can kind of scoot you along, because I'm going to be able to do only so much with you today. I can give you the tools. We're going to do more practices. I'll give you some more techniques and tips and how to unpack and how to dial in, how to get more clear, how do you organize it, how do you develop it. And then I'll point you to some directions that'll take you into even more business development categories. For now, I wanted to slow down and say, okay, so if this is birthing through me, if this is energy that's coming through, if this is codex, this is information that's coming through me, and my job is to be the instrument, be the vessel, be the transmitter, allow it to birth through me, then a big part of this process is internally preparing yourself, internally getting clear, getting aligned, and having the integrity to actually hold more energy. I'm going to talk a lot about this later, because most people don't understand the manifestation physics. They don't understand the laws of success and energetics behind that, and how when you want to be a multi-billionaire, you have to prepare yourself energetically to hold that energy field, which is why most of these people have shamans, Bezos, some of the people at Davos, they do rituals together. They have healers, because they have to prepare themselves. So where am I going with this? I wanted to caution some of you, because most people don't even go, wait, I need to birth something through. What does healing have to do with it? So I'm going to really quickly explain three topics of healing, and then I'm going to continue with how do you download that and how they relate to this. So if anybody's heard of inner child healing, shadow work, and soul level healing, soul trauma healing, or soul retrieval, these three are the first bucket, actual energetic healing work. Most founders, if you don't have your inner child online, some of your genius, some of the people have come to my lives or other teachers, you may have heard this before. The inner child is your creativity, your original spark, your proverbial original divine blueprint. If you don't do that work, you're not going to bring your full gifts online. Some of you are told to shut up. Some of you used your extrasensory or highly sensitive, intuitive, psychic, powerful, like me, spiritual gifts, and you turned them off. So that's the inner child healing in this first bucket. Shadow work, we're going to talk about that in 2 weeks. If you're suppressing your gifts, if you've disowned your power, you're not going to be an effective founder. You can't birth this through. So this is preparatory to birth it through. You have to do healing work. And then soul level trauma, well, this isn't your first time for some of you. Some of you are old souls, advanced beings. Let's say all of us are advanced beings. Some of you remember this, or more ahead of the journey on your soul's journey. And it's not your first time. You have the witch persecution wound, or you were like me, you were killed off for trying to build something, and so then if you don't do this first bucket of healing work, you won't be able to get it off the ground. You won't fully bring all of yourself to the invention, to the curriculum, to the process. So that's why the healing work is very much translates to the business, to what you're birthing through. The second bucket is soul alignment. What the hell is soul alignment? I hear it all the time, Haas. That means that you're actually allowing the energy to flow through you, clear out your mind, your heart, your body, and then your life. You actually, if you're stepping into this and you're going to commit to this, you need to then let your soul connect with you. And some of you have never even connected with your higher self. Some of you are not letting your higher self lead you. Some of you are getting nudges and ignoring them. That's the second bucket of soul alignment work. You have to actually be attuned with the stream of energy, and like the laser, it has to beam through you. If it's all wonky and you're not aligned, you're not being led, it also won't birth through. And then lastly, the third one, energetic coherence. You need to be able to hold this. That's what I said a couple minutes ago about these very successful billionaires and elite leaders. They oftentimes have guides, shamans, healers, practitioners in various ways arrive at this third bucket of energetic coherence and integrity. They can actually hold the energy of their success. They can actually hold the energy of building a new earth enterprise. And being able to hold the magnitude of these higher energies is also important. So healing work, soul alignment work, and energetic coherence and integrity work. All work that we teach here. So if you're like, where do I go to learn this stuff? Well, you can come to Haas's lives and or some of his recordings. So for now, understand that has to get done so that what we're going to continue talking about and unpacking can really flow. Because if this inner junk is there, your inner child isn't online, you have a lot of shadow work to do, your soul trauma, you were persecuted, you're like, I don't want to be seen again, you're not aligned, you're not letting your soul lead you, you're not acting on your soul, you're not letting go of that old life, your old friend, your old partying, your old way of being, and then you don't have the energetic coherence. And that energetic coherence is for those of you that are further along. Those are the up levels. Those are the ones that are like, I'm a teacher already. Oh, why do I need Haas? Some of this is, well, yeah, that's because you need to do what I've been doing, clean up on Haas. I've been doing all three of these so I can finish birthing through something that teachers have been telling me, you're going to change the world. All sorts of weird, miraculous stuff that this little guy's supposed to do. And I'm like, well, I can't do any of that if I can't hold it. Yeah? So if I've done all this inner work, now what? What do I do with all this awakening and activations and epiphanies? That's the topic of today. Yeah, that's what we're unpacking, well underway. How do I make use of this for the collective good? You unlock. That's what we're teaching you. We're unlocking these inner processes, unlocking these energetic mechanisms, your human technology, allowing you to harness, draw them in, and make use of them. Make use of them for collective good. So let me unpack this a whole nother way. I gave you some steps. Let me unpack this through Tesla's quote, right? And what was Tesla's quote again? Let's read it verbatim. I'm not going to paraphrase it, and then I'll tell you exactly the mechanism of how these steps relate to what Tesla meant by, my brain is only a receiver. In the universe, there is a core from which we can obtain, as in bring down, download, obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. Inspiration, the coming in of spirit, the coming in of flow of energy, the coming in of the flow of information, light and sound, carrying these packets of codecs. So here's what Tesla was really saying. So I'm going to break this down. This dropped in. This downloaded 2 nights ago in meditation because this wasn't part of my notes. So again, part of this, when you get to the third step, is you got to allow. You got to allow then it to be cooked. The cake will cook through you. So this is what came through. When Tesla says this quote, here's what he meant. Okay? He meant that you're dialing in, you're learning today how to dial in to an ever-expansive collective consciousness that is multiversal. So step 1, dial in to the ever-expansive collective consciousness that's multiversal. Literally, it's like a piggy bank of knowledge, codex, information, seeds. It's sitting, waiting for us. And these miracles and more, you can birth stuff through with this power. So then, if you hold it, if you can actually then bring it down and hold it, this infinite amount of information that's available to each of you, that's the kicker. How do I hold it? Well, that's all that energy work. Haas took a little disclaimer, parenthetical of step, do 1, 2, 3, energy healing, soul alignment, coherence work. If you can hold this infinite flow of information and codex, then you can bring it through in your individuated form. Each of you in your individuated form as a transmitter will birth through something that's unique to you, co-creating your part in this multiversal tapestry. So literally, my antenna, my transmitter, my birthing through will have a unique output, a unique energy signature that's different from each and every one of the souls that are already here. So if you can hold it, bring it through, individuate it and birth it through. For if you can do this, for you see, it all depends on your individual soul calling, your individual soul resonance, soul signature, and your human expression. That's what's going to make you what you're here to birth through. So if you don't do your piece, there will be other people that can potentially fill in the gaps. It's going to be unique to you as a particulate of the whole. What is a particle? A particle is a piece of the whole. You are a particle of this multiversal tapestry. So by tapping in, Tesla was teaching us in a coded way, hey, you all can do this. You can bring some miraculous technologies and mind-blowing theories forward. So let's get more into this. That's another way of saying all-knowing. Some of these saints and mages become all-knowing. Well, all they've done is they've developed this next exercise we're about to do. Developing more blue sky mind, more of a actual harnessing, intentionally, masterfully, dialing in, downloading, bringing the seed in, understanding, now I need to unpack it. Then I need to allow it to flow through me like layers of a cake, gestate, process, translate, and then birth it through and crystallize it. Yeah? Hopefully you're with me so far. Let me know in the chat how you're holding up. And then we'll do the second. The second is it's not exactly it's guided. I have video on it. I'll tell you in the announcements where you can learn more about this stuff until this recording is up. For now, it's going to allow you to establish this. What we're about to do next is going to allow you to establish the connection and keep the flow going, strengthening the downloads, doing the download. So it's not like the analogy I use is you go pick somebody up for a date. You don't know what you said and what they liked about it. All you know is they agreed. That's what a lot of us are doing until we're taught. We're kind of like not intentional. It worked. I don't know how it worked. I don't know where this download came from. I don't know what I did to get vulnerable power 6 years ago. Now I need to prime my state. I got a download. Okay, I need to sit with this. So then you get more masterful. You harness it. You hone it. You understand the mechanics and you can flow and riff with it. The word of the day, that's what I do. The essence of what I help, support, and do with the activate, accelerate in a sustainable way. So it actually... you get jamming. Because as Alex said, we got mouths to feed. I got bills. And they're multiplying. What I'm going to teach you all right now is literally we're going to go within. We're going to do it together, those steps. We're going to show you how to establish the connection and bring through a steady stream of downloads. So this is the actual connecting in, dialing in, and downloading process. You with me so far? And this process, if practiced, the more you do it like a muscle, the more you practice it, the stronger the connection gets, the more fluid it becomes, and the more you can master it. So let's go within. Like always, what do? We close our eyes. I recommend you bring your hands to your chest. You drop in, you use your nostrils to breathe if you're not already. Breathing in, breathing out. Anchoring to the body, using your nostrils and your diaphragm. A few exhales. We've talked a lot, you've shared a lot, you've received a lot of transmissions, a lot happening. Let's let all of that out with a couple of excessive exhales, let's call them, really exaggerated exhales. Allowing ourselves more and more to drop in, hands on heart, breathing through the nostrils, allowing yourself to connect within, drawing your awareness within, feeling the breath through your diaphragm. As you inhale, rise of the belly, exhale, contract, and the belly falls. Calling all parts of you back to you now, reconstituting your energetic presence more and more. As we start to develop into the practice of tuning in and downloading from this proverbial universal consciousness. So as you breathe and arrive more and more in the here and now, tuning inwards, turning your focus inwards. Back up again we go to the head center. We spend a lot of time counterintuitively to drop out of the head. That's because we want to keep our awareness in our body with our hands, helping us anchor, as well as now bringing our awareness, intention, and focus to our head, breathing in and out through the diaphragm, and then now also having our focus, inner awareness, intention, in our head, center of the head, feeling the center of your head more and more, every breath like we did in the warm-up exercise, continuing from there, breathing in and out to the center of your head, feeling into the center of your head. With every breath as you breathe in, feel the center pulsing and growing and glowing, and as you exhale, feel it contracting. Inhale, feeling this connection, noticing your breathing through your torso, your hands on your torso, and also establishing your awareness in your head, this mind center, the main gate for the downloading that happens. Breathing, and with every breath, feeling into the center of your head more and more. As we did with the warm-up, now I want you to visualize and feel and notice and intend and will the top of your head to open like a valve, maybe like a moonroof or a sunroof, the blossoming of a flower, So as you breathe into the center, I want you to allow with every breath the opening of the top of your head, as if you're literally opening the top of your head and saying, I open my mind center and the top of my head with every breath. Allow those words to come out of your mouth. Allow them to operate at a sub and superconscious level. Inhale and exhale. And as you do, connecting to that mind center and then specifically the top of your head, opening it up like a valve or a moonroof. Feeling the top of your head opening up with every breath in and out. As you do that, feel your head expanding like a balloon. With every inhale, feel your head and your mind opening up, expanding out more and more, as if the mind center in your head is expanding like a balloon. With every inhale, more and more open the mind center becomes. With every exhale, more and more expansion, more and more expanding out. What the Taoists call the blue sky mind, connecting more and more, feeling your mind spreading out with every inhale and exhale, going out above the sky more and more as far as it resonates to take your mind, feeling it opening and expanding out more and more, allowing your mind as you breathe in and out to become expansive. As you breathe, feel this expansiveness of this mind center more and more. Inhale, feel your mind opening up, more and more expansiveness of the energy of the mind center. Being more and more connected with the universal consciousness, allowing your mind with every inhale and exhale to expand more and more. Breathing into that expansiveness, feeling yourself breathing into the energy of that open mind, into your mind that's expanding out as far as you wish to take it. And as you inhale now, I want you to feel yourself pulling energy down into your head as you inhale, pulling this energy down and download. And as you exhale, allow your mind to drift back up and expand back up. Inhale, feeling the energy of this open, expansive mind streaming down into it. As you exhale, feel the energy streaming back up, connecting back up to the expansiveness of the universal mind. Inhale, feeling the energy downloading into your mind, into your consciousness, into your inner systems. Exhale, allowing yourself to establish the connection with that expansiveness. Drawing these energies down into the mind with the inhale, down into the hardware. Exhale, allowing yourself and your mind to expand back out. Feel this connection strengthening. Inhale, pulling the energy down. Exhale, feeling your mind expanding more and more. Now I want you to ask a question as you're doing this, as you're breathing, pulling the energy down. Use your conscious mind, the mind that you always use, that we've turned off. Turn it on for a quick second and say, ask any question you want, maybe about your journey, your next steps to make it pertinent to the topic today. And let go of that question. As you exhale, feel that question going up. Feel that question going up. What do you wish to know? And as you exhale, feel that energy going up. Your mind expanding out. And inhale, downloading back down. Some of you may get an answer right away. Some of you may feel nothing. Continue to breathe, bringing some intention, directing the flow of information and codex with our mind, with our willfulness, our consciousness. See what happens without meaning or expecting or trying to think it happening. Allow. Practicing a natural process that we're learning and remembering. There's a little bit of an art to it, a little bit of consciousness, and a little bit of letting go. On the next inhale and exhale, bring that energy into your hands. Bring your awareness back into your body. Bring your awareness back into your body. Open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring your consciousness back into your body. Taking a moment to acclimate. So let's kind of get into this. So you notice as we did that, we set an intention. Why didn't I set an intention before we did that, Haas? That would have made more sense. Well, correct. If I had done that, your egos would have been more involved. So I'm going to give some tips, some ways that once you do more of this, you can accelerate, lubricate, unpack. Remember we talked about gestation, unpacking the codex. Some of you got light, some of you got words. That's great. Those are easy to unpack. You know, presuming they're not being cheeky and saying you already know. So let's get into this. So the intention setting is the first step. You know, what do I want to know? I go take a hike. I now know the research that if I go on a hike without music, I go into nature, the odds are that I'm going to start downloading. Plus, I've learned how good I am at what primes me, what cultivates those conditions, what makes me go beep, boop, boop, boop. So I can only teach you, then you're going to develop your own style. How do I process? How do I optimize my downloads? Generally speaking, on this intention point, I'll set the intention for the hike, and it'll click. I'll get the insight. I'll get the download. 2 days ago, I went on the hike. I got a ton of stuff for this live. Oh, I got to tell them this. And oh, shoot. Yeah, that's right. I should tell them that. And da-da-da-da-da. So setting the intention and understanding this word. It was in the chat. I said it earlier. You guys were talking about it. Some of you put it brilliantly in terms of the ego, detachment. You want to detach. This is a dance, as I've said, between consciousness, right? Not making the mistake of spending $10,000 developing, because part of it is applying your mind and going, okay, now what? And then part of it is then letting go and let the inspiration guide. There's no right or wrong. It's a dance. It's an art, not a science here. So if you can set the intention and then detach, you develop an open mindset, not only an open mind, literally, energetically, you open up to receiving signs, indirect cues, answers will come to you from both within and outside of you. So you set the intention and then you let go. You see this in yoga nidra, lucid dreaming, all of those which are ancient sciences on manifestation principles. What do, right? Sans culpa. You bring the meditate, they even say it in yoga nidra, the really advanced energetic kinds. You bring the intention, you set it, and then like a seed, you let it go into the universe. Well, what am I missing here? So you set the intention and then you let go without attachment to being open to receiving. So what does that then look like? What are ways I can lubricate that expansiveness, that open-mindedness, and that receptivity? So here's some ways you can do it. If you have already been taking notes, here you go. I'm going to fire them off. All right, so these are tips for now getting the downloads flowing more, starting to unpack them, and consciously translating and gestating them. So number one, you want to drop into your body. I've talked about this on the show. You already see it on the first episode with a lady who's in her 70s, writing her 5th book, Enneagram, created by a mystic, Gurdjieff. She talks about it right out the gate. She felt hands in a conference and told her, this is your work. You're supposed to take Enneagram to a whole nother level. She's talking about portals on the episode, all sorts of stuff. And then I ask her, what helps you unpack the downloads? About an hour in, it's about 3-hour Joe Rogan sized episode. And she says, I drop into my body. I go, you too? Now I've talked to enough people intent that I could see the patterns. Body work. Somebody in the chat talked about it in terms of ADHD or neurodivergent. You want to drop in your body. So number one, you want to set the intention. Number two, you want to be open. You want to be willing to receive. Then you want to drop into your body. What helps is movement. So sometimes I'll literally put on music and I'll groove out. I'll let my mind roam and drop into my body. You see, not exact science here. It's more of an art. And then you start to develop your own style and flow and mastery and honing and harnessing. So I drop into my body, she said. She said, literally, I start to move. And here's where the magic comes in. What is she doing? What am I doing? What is happening in this tip? You're suspending your mental filters. This intellect, this mind, is going to want to do a lot. It's going to want to take all these downloads and do and act, depending on how active your egoic filters are. So by dropping into your body, by moving, by letting your mind roam, by listening to music, you not only suspend your mind, you get your heart flowing, and you get your intuition and instinct flowing. You get more into what we will call, in an energetic state, more fluid, more formless, more in a yin, receptive, cultivating state. So nature helps a lot. Nature, get in your body, listen to music, let the mind wander, let the heart flow. That's where the music really comes in for me. You can do work with people like Haas. You can go to my energetic practices. I'll make some announcements at the end on where to go on my YouTube or on my link on Insight Timer, where you literally then can intentionally go to manifestation meditations or working with your intuition meditations and start to do energetic practices or energetic meditations where you actually start to unpack the codex. I mean, there is an actual subset of meditation that nobody really likes to talk about. When you go talk to classically trained Buddhist monks and then you teach them what I teach you, they'll say, we're not supposed to do that. Why? They're not taught to use their ajna the way I'm teaching you and what we're about to do in this third practice. This very powerful future visualization birthing through practice energetically. Why? Because back then, they were like, don't do it. It's kind of like risky, and and they didn't want to teach people openly. It was reserved, and you had to be pristine. And generally, across the board, they'd say, do more mindfulness. Don't do active meditations. And improvisation has been a personal, freaking huge resource for me to practice. Also, not negating. Oh, that's stupid. Vulnerable power. If I didn't have a receptive improv mindset from my mediation days, I would have been screwed. I wouldn't be a teacher today. I would have clammed up. I would have been like, they're not going to want to hear this. So having a yes and mentality, God, fine. That's crazy. What? Literally, William, I picked him out. He's got an idea that 5 years ago they would have said is nuts. Now they're still going to say, how are you going to integrate consciousness, technology, and plant medicine so we're literally connected like we were in Atlantis and Lemuria? It's like, well, that sounds far-fetched and esoteric. So if you have an improv mindset, even the impossible can birth through you. All right? Tesla didn't sit there and go, this is nuts. So drop into your body, set the intention, have a receptive mindset, suspend the mental filters, and drop into your flow of your heart. That could be listening to music, going out into nature, doing these energetic practices. So then you start to unpack. You start to go, okay, this is now a technology. This is a book. This is a course I'm supposed to teach. This is a plant medicine fused with culinary. Okay. Then you want to start organizing it. I can't emphasize this enough. Early in my practice, one of my friends tipped me off to Evernote, which is an organizational tool. I write down everything. So you want to have either one journal, one file system. A lot of you, I've worked with quite a few people. It's everywhere. Why? I can now go back. I have an archive. Most of you can tell this because what I teach is pretty media. I have literally 5-10 books written already probably, and how much content has been archived the last 6 years. So organize it in one central place. This is where we start to get into some of the admin human stuff where you go, what? This is a spiritual class. No. Organize it in one place. You'll thank yourself for doing it later. Journal to gather, to track your progress, and to unpack and build upon your ideations and your flow. It'll help you both integrate, connect the dots, because then I go back, I look at what I was channeling in 2019, what came through me, what teachers and others were like, you do understand what this is, right? This is going to change the world. And I'm like, the freak does this even? Now I can go back and go, oh, because I'm at a later stage of gestation and birthing it through, that it's crystallized. And if I hadn't organized it in a set, centralized system, I would not be as accelerated as I am. So another big thing, time for stillness. This is where yin yoga, restorative practices, lucid dreaming, where you step into being states, there's a lot there. I can't tell you how many epiphanies I've had, how many things have clicked, where I've literally let my mind roam and I've been lying down in bed or watching Real Housewives or something to veg out or complete stillness. I would recommend holistic stillness. If you're too muggly and in the householder and you can't get away, you got 5 kids and you're going to create excuses, fine. Namaste. I honor your process. Watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I did it with Manya, and believe me, it helped a lot of ideation flow. Why? Because you're essentially churning off from doing and letting the this neuroscience already knows, the subconscious marinade. They call it the boiler room effect. And all of a sudden, all this is happening and percolating. Good word, percolating. Yeah? Hopefully this is helpful, because I wish somebody had told me, hey, here's the things you can do, that some of them are real world stuff, and this will help kind of get the things flowing, assemble the pieces, and help you kind of concretely bring it through. So I talked about that kind of here, boom, 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 boom. You cannot shortcut the gestation process. I said this with this whole $10,000 I've said a couple times over the last 2 hours. You can't shortcut it. You cannot go, okay, this is it, I'm going to run. The universe will tell you. You'll get a loud and clear. And you know what the loud and clear is? People start to kind of tell you that's a great idea. It's not only your internal tells you, that's a good cue. Your external and your internal both match up. Now run with it. So make sure that you're fully sitting, you're unpacking, you're letting it really gestate. You're not doing knee-jerk, I got to make money now. It's too long. I've been without a job for too long. Or, oh, people think I'm a bum. Or early on, I spent so much time, I called it Quantum Wizard. Then I sat with Manya, a fellow co-teacher back then, and we tinkered quantum light alchemy. Some of you may remember that. I mentalized so much of it, and then it came through on a mountain 1.5 years ago. Soul leadership, dummy. You've been working with leaders for 30 years on soul. That's what everybody knows, literally, even as a lawyer. And leadership. Everybody says you're a leader. And I go, oh, I bring the soul back to leadership. You see the difference? It's very subtle, this work. It's an art, not a science. Some of it is mechanical. Some of it, this part of it, once you download and you unpack, is more finesse, is more of a art. That's why when on the first episode this season, when Roxanne was talking about it, she did her best to break down the ways she unpacks the downloads and birth through her books. Now she's on the 5th book. Yeah? Let me know if this is useful. I can see the chat flowing. I'll get to it. Let me see if there's anything else. So if you take action on it, and I hear this from practitioners left and right, if you don't take action, I talked about this earlier, so you want to then after a while, then take steps. Get the domain. Make the logo. When you implement, when you then universe sees you, take that and make action, take the energy and potential, it'll then give you more and it'll give you the next steps. If you're stuck, and there's a backup, that's why. You got to maybe implement a little bit, and then more pieces will come through, and then more pieces will come through. And then if you have been listening, you have the receptivity, all of a sudden, I've never seen this on Gaia before. All of a sudden, what the hell? Where is this show? And now I can't find it ever again. That one time I watched this one show, and it gave me all these light quotient, all the Ascension science rabbit holes I needed to go down 3 years ago. Oh, that one teacher, Chris, great example in the chat. That one teacher told you, and you got to then pay attention to the cues, and then you'll see from outside and within you, more and more data will start to come to you. And as you start to get into the later stages, which is what we're going to work on now, how do we manifest this? How do I bring it into concrete reality? That's where a lot of these blockages we talked about earlier come in, yeah? So if you wanted it in a step-by-step, here you go. Step 1, write down what is dropped in to begin unpacking it in this reality. Write down what is dropped in to begin unpacking it in this reality. That's why I keep it in one central place. Then go outside in nature. Step 2. Step 3, let your body and energy move around, including allowing your mind to wander and your heart to flow. Okay? Music is a great part of that. And then number 4, what I don't see enough people doing, if you have it in one central place, go back and spend time playing with those downloads, sitting with them, and allowing your consciousness to be with them, reflect upon them, play with them, maybe sketch them out. Tesla used to do the creations in his mind. What if I then put the valve here? And he would do it in that way. You're going to have a kind of maybe a general flow or pattern to it. Generally speaking, you're going to do it your own way. You'll have elements of this, some body and movement, some time in nature, some stillness. What we're about to do is crystallizing, birthing through manifesting. Even if you have no freaking clue and you're me in 2016 starting your sabbatical, what? I didn't even know I was supposed to be a spiritual teacher and Ascension scientist. You will still get a lot out of this, even if it's a fuzzy, what we do is a fuzzy outcome. You will get, your future will be shown to you, okay? Money back guarantee. So, let me make sure everything's good over here. Thank you all for being here. This has been a fun one. We're in the home stretch. Let's do this practice together. I've been cooking this up for you, something that I've woven together. One of my files that I created the last 5 years, manifestation file, right? Practicing what I preach, and I've been bringing it out more and more and using it in my own work. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to include this today. Somebody asked me 2 lives ago, how do I manifest money? And I said, come back to future lives. I didn't know I was going to be doing it today. Dropped in to do it this way. So what you want to do is, if you haven't already, finish chatting in the chat and set an intention. The intention of the soul, fullness, having a full, heartfelt, soulful intention animates everything. It brings a lot of it to life. So what's your intention? I would recommend an easy, simple, less words. Maybe what are my next steps on my mission? What are my next steps on birthing this through? Take a moment, don't put it in the chat. I want you to set it from a heartfelt place. To hold the larger energy field and the magnitude of the energy that you're manifesting. So if you cannot embody your future success today, and that's why God does it to us, and it's growing pains, because you now is going to be different energy and different healing will happen to you in a year that can hold the fullness of your success, the fullness and magnitude of the power that's supposed to flow through you. So this, what we're about to do, is going to, some of you may get very activated. So if you do participate, please stick around so I can tell you some things that are important to making it really stick. Everybody kind of go within. Let's kind of go and do this last practice together. It's going to be a very powerful one. Everything's been kind of leading up to this. Those of you that are actually here because you're in the throes of birthing something through, especially, everybody's going to benefit from this, especially you all are going to love this one because you're closer to your actual creation. It's going to be less fuzzy than the others. So what do? We close our eyes, and what do? We already did it 2 other times. We bring our hands to our torso. We open, center, and arrive with the breath. We open to whatever's happening in the mind, in the heart, the body, and the energy systems as we dive into this divine manifestation practice, this 3rd stage of today, allowing us to really connect with the form, the actualized, manifested form of whatever we're birthing through this mission and vision. So as we open, center, and arrive with our hands on our torso, using our nostrils and diaphragm to inhale and exhale. Open to the here and now, whatever's in your mind, heart, body, and energy bodies, centering in the torso, calling all parts of you back to here now. More and more using your breath to anchor you, to be more and more in your body, more and more of your awareness, intention, and focus in your body. Breathing in and out. As you inhale, feel the energy coming up from your stomach up to your heart, you exhale, feel the energy beaming back down. So we deepen into this opening, centering, and arriving, creating a breath cycle. As you inhale, feel your breath coming up and the energy coming up to your heart. As you exhale, feel the energy going down, creating an orbit or a cycle or a pulse with our breath. Inhale, feeling and sensing the energy coming up. Exhale, feeling the energy going back down to the sacral and solar plexus region. So we open, center, and arrive, and now establish this breath cycle. As you inhale, drawing the breath up. Exhale, let it float back down. Inhale and exhale. Your breath cycles more and more, allowing you to deepen your focus, deepen your awareness, deepen your subtle awareness, especially to the energetics that we're about to dive into. Inhale up to the heart, exhale back down. Fully opening, centering, and arriving, allowing this breath cycle to deepen your awareness, deepen your presence, deepen your subtle focus. And as you breathe, I want you to notice your third eye starting to glow. And your third eye is an energy center in the center of your brow. See it starting to glow and open up with every inhale that your breath comes up to your heart, and exhale more and more, starting to glow. And like a laser, feel, sense, and see a laser, a beam of energy coming out of your third eye, beaming out the center of your forehead, growing more and more. As you inhale, feel the stream of energy come up. More and more, your third eye beaming like a laser out. As you exhale, that energy going back down, feeling this breath cycle. And with that breath cycle, with every inhale and exhale, the third eye beams like a laser out more and more, coming out the center of your forehead like a divine laser beaming out in front of you. More and more, going all the way out, connecting with what we call the future stream of energy. Everything that will be is already happening in the future. Time is not linear, so this beam, this laser, that's where it's going. It's connecting with this future stream. So this laser is syncing up, going all the way into the future, more and more. Every inhale up, exhale, floating down, feeling that pulse carry through this laser. This divine laser coming out of your inner sight. And as it beams out of you, you're asking intentionally for your divine team, your higher self, to help guide you, to help work in concert, in partnership with you. It's important that we dance with the universe. So we ask now consciously that this laser that's beaming out all the way into the future and connecting to this future stream, we feel our team, our higher self, and our divine manifestation council. That word, those words, divine manifestation council, those energetic beings, that part of our consciousness and greater consciousness, seeing them gather around this beam, supporting you, helping this work. See this laser beaming out more and more, connecting with this future. Breathing, inhale up, exhale down from the heart. With each breath, this beam growing more and more, seeing and intending for this beam to cast the intention that you have. Feel your intention going into this laser beam. Feel your team in this divine manifestation council that's gathered around this beam of light coming out of you, supporting it, helping it, activating. Allow that dance, that co-creative energy. Feel the energy now as you inhale, coming out of your third eye, going through this laser, connecting with the future, seeing your intention floating through the laser, being cast into the future. Inhale, feel yourself pinging it out. And as you exhale, feel the energies pinging back to you. Feeling your team responding as you exhale, the energy pinging back. As you inhale, more and more beaming out your intention and vision for the future and connecting with that future stream. And as you exhale, feel the energies coming back to you, this future stream connecting with you more and more. Inhale, the energy going out, and then exhale, feel the energy beaming back. That's the universe, your team, and the future responding to you as we get closer and closer. And as you breathe now, feel that laser as if it's like a rope and you're pulling the future beam towards you more. And as you inhale and exhale, draw this future stream towards you. Feel these future possibilities, this future timeline, all of this that will be. Allow your breath to bring you closer. See that laser drawing it in with the exhale, it coming closer. Inhale, you connecting with it. With the exhale, drawing that future possibility stream towards you. Inhale and exhale. Feel the energies of you casting out into the future, your intentions, your visions. As you exhale, feel the manifestations of what will be getting closer to you. Noticing and sensing more consciously what is happening. What does this future possibility stream look like? Pulling that towards you with each breath cycle. What does it look like, what you're supposed to birth through? Noticing what you see, sense, feel. As you inhale, that beam casting out. As you exhale, feel yourself drawing in this future. Pulling that towards you and seeing more and more. What does that look like? What does this final creation that's birthing through you seem like? Even if it's not fully clear, even if it's a little fuzzy, even if you can't make out what's happening, continue to follow and do your best. See the fullness of that future stream and that vision with each breath. Seeing yourself getting closer to it more and more energetically, breathing and connecting to it. Saying out loud, what do I need to know for my next steps towards this vision? What do I need to know now? What do I need to know, receive, feel, experience right now for the next steps towards this vision? And allow those energies, those answers, those insights to come as they do in natural course. As you breathe, feel the breath coming up to your heart, exhale down. And then likewise, as you breathe, inhale, feeling that beaming out of your third eye, that vision of the future. As you exhale, feel the cute future, what you're birthing through, your creation, closer and closer to you, more consciously present, noticing what you need to know to actualize this. What are the next steps I need to take? What do I need to know, sense, or experience? Connecting with your co-creation, your proverbial baby, the manifestation of your life's work, your soul's calling, the mission this lifetime. Different words to describe what's meant to come through you, why God has brought you here, why Source has cast you here, why you've incarnated this timeline. Connecting with your creation, this proverbial baby, energetically, in your inner sight, feeling it present, almost as if it's right in front of you, as if even if you're in the now and the future are so close. Seeing yourself holding up your creation, see it come out of you, see it like an energy. Maybe if you can tell what the finished product is, if it's a website, a book, a technology, a process, maybe a course, see it coming out of your torso. See yourself holding up this creation like that famous scene in Lion King, holding it up to the sky. See yourself holding it up to the world, saying out loud as you visualize and connect on this deep energetic level, "Dear universe, please support my next steps in birthing this through, birthing my calling and mission through divinely." See yourself holding this creation. See yourself being happy. Feel it. Feel the joy of what it will be like one day soon as you fully align with it now. Feel the fullness of the glory of holding up this creation and all you have to go through and will go through and get through. All those steps. And asking the universe again to divinely support these next steps so that I may birth these through, and say it with me, naturally, optimally, easefully, and gracefully. Feeling the words naturally, optimally, easefully, and gracefully. Seeing this beam of light connected to the future, the pulse of your breath, inhaling up, exhaling down, feeling that pulse from the laser out of your third eye to this future manifesting so close to you now. And now you're holding it up, holding up this final creation, this proverbial baby that will birth through you, like that quintessential scene that we all have, most of us have seen, if not all, that Lion King scene, holding it up to the universe, to the world, to yourself, taking true pride, divine healthy pride in all that you will accomplish, all that you have accomplished, and the steps you've taken today, closer and closer. Hold that baby in your heart, and as you bring it in, breathe that energy into your mind. Breathe the energy into your heart. Breathe the energy into your cells, into your DNA, into all of your body, and breathe that energy into your energy systems within and around you. Allow that baby to go back into your heart. Let go of that future stream as it starts to float away. Seeing that laser come back in within you, dropping back down into your heart, knowing that whatever you received was enough, and that more will unpack, that everything is unpacking and, shall we say, unfolding in divine timing. Having that trust, having that receptivity and open-mindedness, giving thanks as you rub your heart, breathing in and out, saying, "I integrate and ground these energies." As you open your eyes, come back to the room, wiggle your fingers and toes, breathing in and out and saying, "I integrate these energies with ease. I integrate these energies with ease." Well doing. Let me know in the chat if you have any questions. So I would recommend, if you're here for the full 2.5 hours, thank you for your time and your investment in yourself and your future and this new earth. As I said, this new earth ain't going to happen on its own. It's not going to build itself. We all have to do our own part. So I would recommend you go to my YouTube channel, Integration and Self-Care Following Doing Inner Work. That video is very important. It gives some tips. If you've already watched it, you know what to do. There's tips. You did very activating work today. So there's 2 buckets I explain. If you've done healing work, this is the activation bucket. In order for this to stick, in order for this to actually take hold, you want to write down what you saw. You want to continue to reconnect with it. Maybe create what I call an anchor code. I am. One of mine lately has been I am golden, and that's how I use it to connect with this manifestation when I'm birthing through consistently. And then all the tools and everything I unpacked for you today of going back into that vision, unpacking it, sitting with it. Yeah? So that's what I would recommend by way of actually follow up to make this stick, the integration. Yeah? And I'll get to the chat. Please let me know how you're doing in the chat. I'll get to that in a second. And then these videos I created a while back. It's called Your Spiritual Entrepreneur Journey. Even if you don't self-define as I'm a spiritual entrepreneur, they're on my YouTube channel. They're 2 masterclasses with 2 hidden videos that you won't find until you go to the end of it. The first and second one, the first one is very much this process, a lot of this stuff. Not everything that we covered today will be there. I'll put another video on YouTube soon, which will encapsulate today's product, let's call it. The first one is going to be more on the energetic side, and the second of this 2-part Spiritual Entrepreneur Journey Masterclass series is more on the nuts and bolts side. How do you then create what we call in the business a minimum viable product? How do you then start to scale it? How do you then take this and really more on the nuts and bolts, more on the muggly admin on that side. So I really recommend that. It's something I created 2 years ago. It's not a recording of a class. It's very, very useful. It takes all of my old training and helping entrepreneurs as a lawyer, so all that biz dev, business strategy, and mixing it with a lot of the energetic stuff. I'm not giving legal advice. I don't do legal work anymore. So, if you're going to come to me for Haas, I need you to be my legal person, sorry, not sorry. Go to the spiritual entrepreneur journey, 2-part masterclass, guided practices at the end. It will further today's activations, insights, and progress. Those videos that are hidden at the end of the actual teaching part, there's 2 guided processes. They will further today's process. Okay. Again, today was proprietary. I love you all. I share from my heart and soul things that I've had to develop, research, pay good money for, develop and birth through, etc. Some is my own proprietary, etc. And I do this because I believe that we all are here for a reason. My mission is to gift this to you. That's what I do on these tasters. If this is what I do for free, donation based, what do I do if you actually hire me? I wonder. You might want to get in the lab. If that resonates, you can reach out and do a consult with me. Okay. And we can talk about why we've crossed paths, how I could be of support. All right. You're not weird. Like I said, not only this week, somebody consulted with me through Insight Time or through LinkedIn. Oftentimes when I ask, what drew you to me? I get flavors of projecting onto me disowned power. And we've simply been conditioned to think this stuff is weird, unnatural, or mystical, or theoretical, or abstract. It's not. Normalizing it is part of why I do these lives, part of why I have the Vulnerable Power Show. And this is universal. It's natural. Everybody can do this if we understand our energetic capacities and gifts. So the sooner, and today this has been the undercurrent, the sooner you embrace and step into your gifts, what you're here to birth through, your genius, the quicker you get to actualizing it and bringing through your soul's calling, your vision and mission, then we're that much closer to the new earth. It's not going to build itself. It's going to be built in silos, bits and pieces here and there, and we're all in tandem building this tapestry, a new way of living and leading. You with me? It's not going to be easy. I'm in the trenches for a while now, going on 10 years, leaving my old life. It's not easy. Sacrificing money, all sorts of stuff. So any teacher, whether you're a teacher or not, whether you say you're a teacher, going to be a leader, whatever you do to step into that calling and mission in what form it takes, do it. Don't wait any longer. Follow that hunch. And thank you for following the hunch, for being here. Especially if you're a new person, you're like, what is this? What is this live today? What's going on? So let me know how you're doing in the chat. Especially if you're new and you've never done anything like this before, and even some OG practitioners, like I said, working with me are going to be like, what the heaven? So, and I'll make some announcements. So let me read this quote for you, yeah? Stella Terrell Mann. Whatever the divine's plan for you may be, it seems certain it cannot come true if you don't cooperate. Whatever the divine's plan for you may be, it seems certain it cannot come true if you don't cooperate. I see a lot of people not cooperating. I see a lot of people willfully remaining ignorant. A lot of people, reaching out to me and then disappearing. Well, if your soul guided you to me, it doesn't mean you owe me anything. It means you owe yourself, your soul, the greater intelligence, which is guiding you to be in alignment with that and take those steps with good faith, with kind-heartedness. And I'm seeing a lot of people cop out from their soul's calling. And as this quote say, not cooperate. So this new earth ain't going to build itself. Whatever the divine's plan, as Stella Terrell Mann says, for you may be, it seems certain it cannot come true if you don't cooperate. So today's been about how do I cooperate? How do I bring it through more easily? How do I understand this process, this mechanics? How do I then understand this art of unpacking it, translating it, gestating it? Yeah? For those that are on the path, how do you download part 1, more energetics, part 2, nuts and bolts? You get the benefit of a guy who helped people found corporations, start game-changing technologies, and some of them went public. A couple of them made, some of them did really good. A lot of them did really good, made an impact. Some of them made a lot of money. So this stuff is very practical. And if you're meant to, you will not only have a good life, you will create wealth that you're meant to. So that is it for today, folks.